If you ever need a program to run a response to an event, you can use Task Scheduler to create a task to perform that action for you automatically. For instance, you can have specific programs start when you log on. Logging on is the event or trigger, and the programs you have to start are the response to that event. You can also use an event like a full disk error to trigger an action, such as running disk cleanup. You can look for events in Event Viewer as well, such as unexpected system shutdown errors, and perform an action when that happens. You might want to create and save a log file, for example, or run a script you've written. These actions and others can be created, managed, and monitored in Task Scheduler. You can access Task Scheduler from the Computer Management window, or using any of these options. You could search for it. Type task SCHD.MSC in the search window or use the Scheduled Tasks command at a command prompt. The simplest way I think is to type Task Scheduler. I already have a lot of scheduled tasks, but I'm going to show you how to create one from scratch. This is the best way to get familiar with Task Scheduler. When you do this, you can explore all the possibilities for triggers, actions, conditions, and settings. Before we start, though, let's look at each of those words one more time in more detail. A trigger is what causes a task to run. For example, a specific time of day can be configured to trigger an action. A trigger can also be an event that was logged in Event Viewer, such as when someone logs on or off the computer. Conditions can be added to triggers to further define when a task will run. While a trigger might set off a task to run on a specific day and time, a condition could require that the computer be idle before it will start. An action is what happens when that trigger plus conditions are met. An action might mean running a log on or log off script or starting an application like Microsoft Outlook or Disk Defragmenter. A setting affects how a task performs and what happens if it can't run. A setting can be configured to retry the task at a later time, for instance, or to be cancelled altogether. To create a task, click Create Task in the right pane. Here I have my options. I'm going to run disk cleanup based on specific triggers, actions, and conditions. So I'm going to type disk cleanup here. I'm going to configure this task for Windows 10 and I'm going to run it under my user account and only when I'm logged on. Notice the user doesn't have to be logged on. I'll click Triggers and I'll set a new trigger. I'm going to run this task weekly every Wednesday. Note I could delay the task or repeat the task or stop it if it runs longer than a certain amount of time. I'll go ahead and change this to 2 hours. I can also set the task to expire. I'll click OK. Now I'll set an action. I'll click New. Now I have to choose which program to run, so I'm going to click Browse. I need to browse to Windows C, the Windows folder. I need to browse to System 32, because this is where the program is stored that I want to run. You can scroll down to see a lot of program names. I happen to know the name of mine. It's Clean Manager. Here's cleanmanager.exe. I'll select it and click Open. I could add additional arguments, but I won't, and I'll click OK. Now I'll click Conditions. I could start the task only if the computer is idle for a certain amount of time. I'll change that to 30 minutes. I could stop if the computer ceases to be idle, and I could even wake the computer to run the task. Let's look at settings. I can allow the task to be run on demand, run it as soon as it's missed, and more. Here's an option. If the task fails, restart every 30 minutes up to 3 times. Once you have everything set in this window, you're ready to click OK. The new task will appear in the list of other tasks, if you have any. You can right-click a task to see more options. You can run the tasks now, end it, disable it, view its properties, delete it, and yes, even export the task. If you want to run this same task on other computers, you can. There's more to learn about Task Scheduler, as you can imagine, but this is a good start. Continue to explore as time allows. Remember too that there's a command line tool for Task Scheduler. You can run the command with the create switch to create a new scheduled task. You can use /change, /delete, /run and also end, although there are other commands. Take some time now and explore Task Scheduler. Schedule a few tasks just for fun. You can always right-click and delete when you're finished.